Раз, раз, раз. Надеюсь, сейчас лучше. Раз, раз, раз. Надеюсь, сейчас лучше. Да, сам себя услышал. Я рад. О, 2 человечка уже тут. Блин, так хочу сделать звук чистым. Ну, понятное дело, что на таком микрофоне, который веб-камера, вообще не получится. Но вот я сейчас с настройками побалуюсь. Вот так вот сделаем. Мне интересно, будет ли это лучше. И вот так вот даже. Вот. Потому что... Здесь сейчас лучше. Да, сам себя услышал. Вот, 2 человечка уже тут. Блин, так хочу сделать звук чистым. Ну, понятное дело, что на таком микрофоне, который веб-камера, вообще не получится. Но вот я сейчас с настройками побалуюсь. Так вот сделаем. Мне интересно, будет ли это лучше. Так вот. Ладно. Если через OBS стримишь, то можно на звук... Да, я как раз таки накинул плагин этот фаб-фильтр. Вот. Ладно. Делаем игру чуть погромче. И начинаем! Стэнли пора была. Никогда в нее не играл, но я смотрел тогда еще старые видосы 15-го года, как ее проходят. Вот. Но так как это обновленная версия... господи, сейчас звук себе выключу. Так, чат открыт. Чат могу читать. Жду 2 плюса в чата, раз тут 2 человека, хотя их 3. Вот, жду плюсики в чаты, если готовы начинать смотреть. К сожалению, аудио будет на английском, вот, потому что русскую озвучку я не нашел. Но будут субтитры. Могу для вас сделать их чуть побольше, даже если надо будет. Все. Где мои плюсы? Где мои плюсы? Требую плюс в чат. Плюсик. Все, 1 есть. Ладно. Поехали.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Если надо
And
сделать
then
что-то
one day,
погромче, то
something very
скажите.
peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time.
Рассказ пройдет, и я
But as he
сделаю
came to his
погромче
wits
себя.
and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Так должно быть лучше. Как я знаю, если в данный момент остаться в комнате на 5 минут, то рассказчик повторит, что Стэнли вышел из комнаты. Вот. Не знаю, стоит ли это проверять. О, здрасте. Здрасте, мордасте. И сработает ли это на этом этапе, но здесь очень много ломания стен. Например, я спокойно прохожу сквозь стул. Ладно. Прыгать, кстати, не умею. Садиться умею. Так, ладно.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Это вторая. Ну, это не вторая, это именно делюксовая версия. Потому что второй части нету. Так, я пошел в митинг. О, там открыто. Я хочу туда. Не могу. Сюда.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Вот о чем я говорю. Типа, я что-то делаю, и рассказчик, типа, психует, что ли. Он, кстати, может психовать тут на тебя. Screen access. Кстати, на каждом мониторе разное написано. Это прикольно. Это очень прикольно. Ломание стен, уже можно шутить про Fortnite? Нет, еще нельзя шутить про Fortnite. Мы еще не ломали стены. Блин, пипец лабиринт, конечно. Там рельсы? Круто.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Нет, я войду в правую.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Специально не пойду после этого.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room.
Реально
Stanley
бунтарь.
simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Нет, я не просто постоял. Я еще поприседал. Разминочка, понял? Я не буду.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
Я не буду поддаваться тебе, не буду вестись на твои провокации.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Обожаю, обожаю. У меня тут вся игра будет состоять из того, что я не буду следовать его инструкциям. Тут очень много концовок, поэтому в любом случае, если я не буду следовать...
Oh, well, look who's got cold feet. Sorry to break it to you, Stanley, but that lift isn't coming back. You'd best either get comfortable right here on this platform, or test your luck by jumping to the floor below. You know what? Looking at it now, it's not that far to the bottom floor. I bet you can make it.
Нет, я не смогу. Хотя, может, тут если упасть куда-то...
Come on. I'm sure you'll survive the jump. Don't tell me you're scared. That's not the Stanley I know. Do it! Do it! Do it! Do it! Do it! Do it! Do it!
Ну я ж сдохну. Я что, не знаю, что ли? Давай. Нифига. Я обманул систему, понял? Сосать. Сосать. Плюс лежать. Блин.
Looks like I was wrong. How clumsy of me.
Не получилось. Не получилось. Не фартануло. Ладно.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Я хотел зайти, но думаю, блин, может, я реально выживу. Кружки не стояло, кстати.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door. This was not the correct way to the meeting room.
Я хочу, короче, в вентиляцию
Perhaps he
зайти,
wanted to
ладно.
stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Нет.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Как я тут это так сделал? Хорош. Я думал, я скримака словлю. Хоть и хоррора нету, но я думал, я словлю скримака. Хотел.
Stanley had now gotten himself so far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed the office had begun. So far off the beaten path that it seemed.
Все, молчать, тварь.
You didn't think I was actually just a recording, did you? What a silly and trite explanation that would be. All the back and forth between you and me, all the absurd adventures we've been through, and it all turns out I'm just a tape recording?
Блин.
Just in Stanley's head. I bet that's the kind of twist you think is revelatory.
Это же концовка.
And each and every time you watch a movie where it turns out all to be in the main character's imagination, you must absolutely bolt off the couch in pure shock at the phenomenal and intricate storytelling. It must be so simple to be you. Life being an unending waterfall of surprises and delights.
Я не хотел
How much more
концовку.
exciting you must find the world than the rest of us do. Now I've become sad. Look what you've done to me. This is all your fault.
Ладно. Пойдем по
All of
инструкциям.
his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Все, я буду следовать твоим тупым инструкциям.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley
Ой, я
decided to
так
go
уж
up to his
презентацию однажды
boss's
делал.
office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Да ладно, тут столько развилок, это так круто. О, знакомый коридор.
Staring into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him, and so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Мне это суперлиминал напоминает. Так, не выходить из лифта и ездить туда-сюда. Ладно, хорошо.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Whoops, nope, never mind. Stanley actually got back into the elevator and went back up. Silly me.
Вообще, надо было первый раз по его инструкциям пройти. Ну ладно, хорошо, я сделаю прикол, как ты попросила.
Great question. I just can't wait to find out.
А меня сейчас... Так. Это все еще старая локация. А. Я уже не могу никуда ехать. Меня не закинуло на другую локацию.
Here we are, Stanley. It's your boss's office. Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator. It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated. It's that keen eye for storytelling that you have, an incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow! I'm bolted to the edge of my seat.
Видимо, они в расширенной версии пофиксили это. 2485 был пароль или 2845? Да блин, тороплюсь. Какой пароль был? Блин, ладно, я уже пароль не помню. Что мне делать теперь? А, во. Есть вниз. Поехали. А теперь надо... Как дополнение к Делюксу? Нету дополнения к Делюксу. Есть дополнение к Делюксу? Чего отстань, я не понимаю ничего.
I can't even begin to grapple with what might be up there. Is it the boss's office again? Or what if it's the boss's office this time? The suspense is killing me.
Ладно, следуем указаниям. До сих пор кабинет начальника.
Oh my god. It's the boss's office. This absolutely changes everything for me. Give me a time out here for a minute while I process this.
О! Что-то новое.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm prepared to embrace this stunning revelation and to move forward with... No! No, wait! No! I need more time to process.
Ладно. Посидим. Подождем. Нам же не сложно. Че, реально будет минуту?
All right. I have fully come to terms with it. I have made space in my worldview for this astonishing new reality. As before, I turn to your expert eye for gripping narrative, Master Stanley.
Чел, я сейчас повторю, и ты просто меня
Of course,
убьешь.
going back down in the elevator. How did I not anticipate it? I mean, sure, now it's obvious, but you have to understand that 30 seconds ago, this kind of thing had never been attempted before.
Я еду медленнее, кстати.
To even anticipate it. That's just how revelatory Stanley's decision-making is. A breath of fresh air in a landscape of storytelling that has grown stale and repetitive.
Я сейчас опять наверх поеду. Мы будем добивать его, пока он с ума не сойдет. Прощай, твоя психика. А, все, видимо. Нет,
You
не
know
все.
what? I've just thought of something. Hold on, let's stop for a moment. Don't you realize? It's the anticipation, Stanley. You and I, we have no way of knowing what will be at the top of this elevator. But the suspense, the agony of waiting and anticipating and having to guess, that's the real thrill. Oh, I simply don't want to let that feeling go. It's so precious, so fleeting. Why don't we take this elevator ride nice and slow?
Нет.
There we go. Isn't this so much more exciting? You know, Stanley, it seems like nowadays the only thing that audiences want is to be shocked as loudly and frequently as possible. They want big, explosive moments flung right in their faces from the very moment that things get started. But where's the tension? Where's the trust in the audience to build a slow and nuanced appreciation for the story, the characters? Why aren't we given time to imagine the surprises, to have to think and to anticipate, and then to marvel at the eventual reveal? This is storytelling, Stanley. What you and I are doing right now. This is the most
Опять
exciting
концовка
narrative
просто.
to be developed in years, and it's really all because of you. You're the one who took this bold step of revisiting the exact same locations over and over. Truly, I mean it. This is unique and different. It's not like anything else out there. You see, I want stories that surprise me, Stanley. I want to have to think. I want to be engaged and not pandered to. We're being fed such unimaginative drivel all the time, and we all know it, which is why we're so starved for content that makes us feel sharp and vital and alive. That's why people like you so much, Stanley. Because you're not afraid to spit in the face of tradition. You're a role model, you know? People look up to you. Which is why, though I didn't know when to spring this on you, but, well, I've gathered a little press conference for you, so that you can talk about your work and your storytelling and your life. Yes, I know you're not much for the public eye, but I thought it would especially mean a lot to the people who have been following you from the beginning. They really look up to you, Stanley. I don't know if you realize the impact you have on them. This is the kind of gesture that might leave a tremendous impact on them for the better.
О, я туда хочу.
Good, we're here.
Блин, уже не потыкаешь. Давай. Это же супер лиминал. Ну там так же было
Should be
примерно.
just around the corner here somewhere.
Это я. Прикиньте, это я. Стэнли. Эти дети. Меня не забанят?
Yes, here it is, just through this door.
Нет, я не хочу в тот Трудор. Трудор я не хочу. Блин, дали бы какую-нибудь возможность выбора, я бы опять выбрал. Ой, там уже стрёмные плакаты.
All right, are you ready? I've told them you're going to speak a little bit about the nature of surprise in storytelling and what it means to craft a truly unpredictable narrative. Oh, don't worry, you'll do great. Just be yourself and speak from the heart. I'm really proud of you, Stanley. Okay, it looks like they're ready for you.
Кто?
Go get them.
А, мне это типа комната. Break a leg. Story. Ну, тут могут быть какие-нибудь пасхалочки. Ну, ладно. Так. Половина игры не нуждается в моих комментариях. Можно молчаливо проходить. Ну, давай. Ого. Нифига. Да, конечно. Могли бы как-то вот это вот пофиксить. Понять зеркально. О. Да лифт. Да. Это круто. Это круто. Ладно, еще одна концовка готова, но мы ее достали. Так, давайте на оригинальную концовку, самую первую, пройдем. Прям все, что он просит.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley
Так,
wondered
понятно, пароль не
aloud
тот.
to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Я вводил
By
2845.
simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Идем на оригинальную концовку, самую первую правильную. Вот. Посмотрим, что вообще. Нет, я в прошлой... Ну, хотя логично, что когда я вводил уже после того, как ввел. Ладно, проехали.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
У меня желание пойти туда. Туда. Мне... Ну, ладно, идем по концовке. По сюжету. По сюжету. По сюжету. По сюжету идем, брат.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Конечно же, мне хватит смелости. Я же Стэнли. Да.
Now the monitors jumped to life. Their true nature revealed.
Fire.
Each bore the number of an employee in the building. Stanley's
Блин, себя не
co-workers.
увидел.
The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen. And Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place.
427, 427. Вот он я. Да. Нашел себя. Свой кабинет нашел. Вау. Да крутой. Вот там вообще разрисовано. Что там написано? Он один такой, смотрите. Синенький. Лифт наверх.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this
Надо в
time?
2, 3, 4
Was
зайти
the
в
only
кабинет.
reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable.
Пират.
Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Ой, куда идти?
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded
Всё
from this
отслеживается.
very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over
Никого
another
нету.
human life. For he
5.
would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Почему здесь 5 висит? А, есть еще кнопки. А их в правильном порядке, что ли, надо нажать? Ой, их очень много. А может надо 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Консоль disabled. Давай. 1. 2. Блин, как будто единица не нажалась. 1. Ладно. 1, 2. А, не вижу ничего. Вообще ничего не видно. А, тут закрыто. Слушай, ладно, идем по сюжету. Ну и вы, эти ваши игры. Нам же в Facility Power, да? Туда же нам, вроде, он сказал. Не вижу, что написано. Ладно.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
А мне надо выключить, да, получается, если по сюжету? А если я включу? Ладно, давай выключу. Было бы смешно, если бы игра вылетала.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let
Она светит все? Я думаю, не осветит. Не светит.
What to do or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know.
Ой, ну красиво сделали. Ну, в плане не то, что красиво, просто неплохо.
Stanley stepped through the open door.
Блин, там касцен. Это же экран просто. Я же не смогу выйти. Я вышел.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him.
Блин, почему не дали посмотреть? Я бы хотел бы на здание посмотреть.
Right now, that things were meant to happen, and Stanley was happy.
Ну вот, оригинальная концовка, самое главное, правильная. Теперь будем баловаться. 2, 3, 4 мне нужна была комната, да? Какая-то есть стрёмная комната на самом деле.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
2, 3, 4. Мне надо 2 этажа вниз.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief,
вот еще.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Эта комната еще что-то с ней связано, я помню, было.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow. Just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
Скримак должен быть, по-моему.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just
Не буду выходить из кладовки, окей.
doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA. Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
Ура, ура, меня смотрят 3 человека. Я так рад.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it. Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friend, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite." I hope your friends find this concerning.
Они четвертой стены, ура, ура, ура.
Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid.
Ты
He
офигел?
probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Ты офигел, Неправда. Все ложь. Ложь.
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. They have fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
И не выйду. Не мечтай. Мы проходим все концовки. Давай. Давай, я в тебя верю. Мне вообще не выходить или надо немного поддаться, выйти типа и вернуться? Да, вот и ломание 4 стены. Ладно, я постою еще типа секунд 20. Вот. Нет, наверное, мне все же надо выйти в коридор и типа зайти назад.
Second player. You too? Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
Не, ну я вышел и типа скрипты продолжились дальше. О. Не, все, ничего не происходит. Нету концовки. Наверное, не надо было выходить, или я не знаю, что. Можем, конечно, просто постоять. Но это скучно, нудно и никому не интересно. Вот. Ладно, наверное, пойдем дальше, а потом я погуглю про концовку в кладовке. Или если кто-то хочет, погуглите сейчас и скажите, что надо было делать. Дай имя. Может, не концовка, а просто интересная реакция диктора. Дай имя диктору. Михалыч. Короче, я пойду дальше, но вернусь. Да, точно. Мне на второй этаж. 2, 3, 4 я хочу. А, тут нету 2, 3, 4.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for
Ура!
that. And in such a competitive economy,
От голода
why
и
had he
холода,
taken
как я
that
люблю.
risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations.
Опа.
For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after
Я
all.
буду бесконечно, да, вот
Thought to
так
himself,
ходить по
I
кругу.
suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke
Мне интересно, где Шов?
dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right
А,
now
надо,
as
короче,
he's
каждую
ever
катку
been
в ней
in his life.
сидеть. Окей, я понял.
Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too, surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control.
Давай, я
That
готов.
this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited
Нет.
himself to wake up.
Нет.
He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of the world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Я сейчас усну, а не проснусь. Не, нифига не, вот не сработало. А я вам сказал. О.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
То красное, то черное.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Опа.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself,
Понятно.
and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't.
Нет, в твоей голове сидит рассказчик. Ты уже ненормальный.
Seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Понятно. Тоже концовка. Так.
Wait, Stanley thought to himself. Am I sure that the orders stopped coming in? How is that possible? They never stopped. Surely I was mistaken. No, the orders were still missing.
Опа, поменялось.
Now,
Блин, тут еще мем с ведром есть, а я не знаю, где, что такое ведро и где его взять. Кстати, двери не закрываются. И диктор ничего не говорит.
when Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Так, где я еще хотел посмотреть? Ладно, пойдем туда.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps
Я
he wanted to
все-таки хочу
stop
найти
by the
комнату
employee
2, 3,
lounge
4.
first, just to admire it. The
По-моему,
lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
у нас же еще есть концовка вот здесь вот с лифтом.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize
Мне надо упасть на...
trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is,
А, еще можно упасть на эту платформу.
nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Кто она? Кто мне... Опять... О.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this.
Четыре, два, 7.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
О,
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually
Aw.
think you had a loving wife? Who'd want to commit their life
Yeah.
to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley.
это
I'm trying to
грустно.
get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here. This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Да не умер я.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Я нажму другую кнопку. Ладно, придется нажать J.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
Да какой У? Ладно.
But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Нажмите С, чтобы посмотреть ТВ.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Поиграть с детьми. Ладно.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go
Понятно, меня это.
At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Приготовить ужин.
As he wandered through this
все-таки пропадают объекты. Мне казалось, здесь телевизор был.
Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
Рассказать детям сказку.
It was such a wonderful fantasy. And so in his head, he relived it again. And then again. And again.
Тут, короче, можно поиграть в игру внутри игры.
That he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Ладно, я люблю жену.
But there is no answer.
Oh, fuck.
How could there possibly be? In reality,
оно перестраивается. Оно перестраивается в мой кабинет.
The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets. The more he forgets which life is the real one.
Пойти спать.
And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Я нажму.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Нажмите Z, чтобы не задавать
I
вопрос.
suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him.
Давай.
I'm compelled.
Давай.
I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again. And Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again. And Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Нафига я нажал? Блин, нафига я нажал? Я ничего не... Я дверь хотел открыть. Сука. А как я до туда дошел? А я не пройду это опять. О, фак.
Wait, Stanley thought to himself. Am I sure that the orders stopped coming in? How is that possible? They never stopped. Surely I was
Блин, где же
mistaken.
кабинет 234?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly.
Сейчас попробуем спрыгнуть на
Perhaps he
платформу.
wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Кстати, а эта дверь разве ведет в переговорную? Я не помню. Точнее, не знаю, не то, что не
Stanley
помню.
was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off
Тут,
on the
кстати,
wrong
можно
foot
найти
here. I'm not
комнату
sure
с
anybody
плохими
really knows.
комментариями к
I
первой
realize that
части.
investing your trust in
Вот.
someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the
Так.
story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side.
Нет,
Give me a chance.
нет. Тебя ненавижу. 2Б1. Вот здесь должна быть комната с воспоминаниями. Отдел памяти, как так называется.
Now listen carefully, this is
А,
important.
да.
Stanley walked through the red door.
Блин, даже сохраниться нельзя, ну логично. Нет, ладно, пойдем по своему пути.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door. All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen?
Да, я
Don't
хочу.
let me stop you.
Давай.
You see? There's nothing
Вау.
here. I
Блин,
haven't
мне
finished building
очень
this
нравятся
section of the
большие
map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically
Да.
for you? You don't
Было бы
think I
прикольно,
put a lot
если
of
бы
time
вот в
into
этих
that, because I
маленьких
did. And in the end,
отображался
it
бы
was all
я.
for nothing, because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill
Да,
trees? Work
да.
with me. You give me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we
Давай.
go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
Ну, мне нравится больше вот эта дверь. И я туда пойду.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. Aha! You see, I knew I was onto something. Where do these flashes of
Блин,
inspiration
надо было
come from?
единицу нажать.
How did I know the game needed a third door? Well, it's instinct mostly, a calling in your gut. I really couldn't say where the idea came from, except that I felt it in my soul. You can't teach that, Stanley. Don't even try. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Давай. Блядь, что такое? За... Чего? Что это вообще? А, ну да, да, конечно. Какие 7 часов. Да иди в жопу. Неправда. Кстати, прикольная штука. Ну, типа, здесь, по-моему, реальные факты. Ой, кстати, 3%. Ладно, я опять пойду сюда.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helps you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
Да, таблица лидеров мне помогла.
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on. And now
О, да, 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 во, я
to give it
нашел
some
ту
playtesting.
концовку. Не
You
концовку.
wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up.
В первой части...
In this
Нет,
game,
это не
the
то.
Bailey crawls left
Не та игра.
towards
Блин.
danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective?
Ладно.
Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
Отвратительный звук. Кстати, есть люди, которые играли 4 часа в это? Я думаю, есть, я это смотреть не буду.
You heartless bastard. Did you
Я не буду в
think
это
you
4
hate
часа
babies
играть.
purely to spite
Да,
me?
это тебе назло.
Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out, I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here?
Давай.
Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
Какая мне игра выпадет? Только не Майнкрафт, пожалуйста. Но в первой части был Майнкрафт. В этой Rocket League и... Что же еще там было? Firewatch. Да, Firewatch есть. Да, это Firewatch.
Ah, fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley? What's our
Это
backstory?
очень крутая
What is our
игра.
motivation? Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower, perhaps for some sort of twisted erotic purpose.
Это так круто, на
Yes,
самом
that
деле.
must be it. What a fascinating venture
Но они
into the experience
ее
of
переделали.
mental
Типа,
depravity. So far, I love
Firewatch не так
everything about this
выглядит.
game, Stanley. And it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
Я, кстати, рассказывал про Firewatch, по-моему, тебе. Вот. Но нет, это, конечно, совершенно не то. Firewatch по-другому выглядит. Куда более насыщенно и детально. Но они молодцы, это реально круто.
No, it can't be.
Блин, даже в Firewatch захотелось
It is.
поиграть.
It's an open world game. Good God, quickly block it off.
Ой.
Thank goodness, Stanley. What a close call.
В смысле?
You wandered off into that thing, that big open, just wandering around. No
Игра
right
с
or wrong
открытым миром — это
directions, no
хорошо.
path to follow. You could just go in any. Oh, thank heavens we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to get us out of here. Let's find another game. Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls. Okay, I think this will be just the thing.
Так, а что следующая за игра будет? Да, Rocket League. Ха-ха.
Wonderful. See, this is exactly what I had in mind. Just a nice big box for you to run around in. There isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game design. Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed. Okay, so what exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun.
Да.
We run the bases and do a touchdown together? Yes, I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball.
Не надо. Он большой. Так, в какие двери забить? О. Кайф.
Are you doing it? Are you winning? Is this fun? Is it better than my miserable little story that I worked so hard on?
Да.
Stanley, I have a thought, and I realize I'm not a sportsologist.
Ай.
Hold on. What are you doing?
Блин, я упал. Я хотел поиграть с мячиком. Об этом вот.
Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back.
Ладно. Я сам справлюсь без тебя. Без тебя справлюсь. Ты мне не нужен. Абсолютно. Хотя, блин, тут куда ни иди, темные стены. И я проваливаюсь. Ой. Опа, вот теперь начался хоррор, да? 509-й, 5-й этаж. Блин, ребят, давайте без климаков, молю. Я не готов. О, ну вот, теперь стрёмно играть. Не хочу. Я хочу играть стрёмно. Кстати, эти моменты я уже не помню в первой части. О, свет, свет. Ура, свет. И все. 427 я нашел свою комнату. И все, здесь ничего нету. Дайте фонарик, давайте как настоящий хоррор с фонариком. Ой. Темно стало.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice.
Да,
And
да.
he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what
Да,
I
это
need
точно
for
на
this
Outlast
world.
теперь смахивает.
Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
Только не с самого начала. Нет, это была концовка. Это была концовка. Блин. Была концовка. Я хотел еще.
Just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself. That's all I need. If I can make it through this door, I can make it through them all. Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
О. А эта дверь открывается. Это темнее становится. Блин. Во втором офисе с рабочими столами есть видео. Вот в этом офисе есть видео. Тут нету. О. Чем я его выключил? Я могу всех выключить. Ведро. Где ведро? Где ведро? Я еще не видел мем с ведром, я не понимаю. Input received. Ну, я же нажимаю. Нет, клавиатура не работает. А на концовке должно ломать. А где ведро? Где ведро? Не ведро! Дайте мне ведро. Не вижу. О, new content. Опа, новая дверь.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
Это мой новый контент. Это я придумал. А где ведро, кстати? Значит, не в этом офисе, но ведро где-то есть. Ладно. Будем искать ведро.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After
Это делюксовое отделение.
success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
Ладно, давай увидим новый ультра делюкс
So far,
контент.
it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
И чё мы стоим?
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
Давай, я тоже готов. Давай. Новый контент в Апексе, это хорошо.
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if, Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
Нифига контент.
All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
Нам прыжки дали. Вот это новый контент, конечно. Зачем я прыгаю? Зачем я прыгаю настолько, сколько мне нужно? Почему я не могу пойти в следующую комнату? А. Я дебил. Понятно.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
Кайф.
Another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh wait, there's more.
What?
Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Все?
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no
Это
reason
ломание
other
четвертой
than to make a
стены.
easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended. I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game?
Нет,
Try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about.
нет, я хочу
No
прыжки.
frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Ой. Что-то немного не то. Вот так вот должно быть. Все поломали. Все понятно, все разграбили.
Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
Ну я хочу туда, блин. Ладно, давай вентиляцию. Так уж и быть. Пойдем на поводу у тебя. О, вентиляции. Не люблю вентиляции. А если бы я пошел туда? Блин, сколько уже путей развилок мы нашли? Кто-нибудь может вообще это подсчитать? Я вот сколько веду здесь стрим? 1:20. И
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be, but it got me thinking about the past, and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it.
О,
Just our little secret. Take a look. I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my
Круто.
favorite memories, so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want.
Кстати, у меня прыжки бы остались, наверное, бы я смог бы перепрыгнуть туда. Вот. Но я и все истратил. The Memory Zone. А, вот здесь вот есть от...
You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how
Cookie
wonderful
9.
Stanley Parable was before it was solid with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013, when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Блин, это мило. Это мило. Good time. Блин, 9 лет прошло. Demonstration. Блин, не прокатило. Ладно. Да, кстати, ачивка раньше была не играть в игру 5 лет, и люди ее выполнили, кстати. Вот. А сейчас ачивка в Стиме 10 лет не играть. Не знаю, как ее получать, не читал. А где зал? Где с плохими комментариями? Блин. Да, невидимые стены, как всегда. Ну там рояль вообще.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalists.
Да какого
10
ведра?
out of
Вы
10
чё?
indestructible
Я не
top
нашел ни
top.
одно ведро.
James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was.
Была.
It was
Во что она
literally
скатилась?
every game ever created. It was Skyrim. It
Не
was
была
The
она
Sims. It
Скайримом.
was all of them. And now, it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk.
Как я мог пропустить ведро? Легко. Взял и пропустил. Не могу туда. Ладно. Зачем было делать такой проход, если туда нельзя? О, да, вот, Майнкрафт. Короче, вместо Firewatch Майнкрафт был. А вместо... Забыл. Rocket League был Portal. Но так как типа игру перезапустили, то добавили более, ну, новые совершенные игры. Вот. Популярные. On-off. О, здесь процесс разработки. Прикольно. Красная, синяя дверь. Смотрю на говно. Че он только сейчас закрылся-то? О, этой комнаты не видел, кстати, еще.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games, and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone. To spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall.
Это точно, это точно, это точно. Чел, ты. Я пропрыгал все прыжки. Мне надо вернуться. Блин, зачем я пропрыгал все прыжки? Туда можно было попасть. Офигеть.
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again.
Все же мне вниз просто.
Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here?
Да? Жалко. Я думал, могу. О.
Oh no. God no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they?
Да. Такие же восторженные.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny? I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
Мы именно сейчас проходим ультраделюксовую часть. Вот. Кстати, на канале Happy Wolf вышел тоже обзор, но я не стал его смотреть, так как я решил сегодня поиграть, чтобы не портить первые впечатления. Вот, то...
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley, I'm not preachy.
Да, да,
Tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can.
да.
This is actually quite shocking for me. I always, well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did, but maybe it wasn't.
Почему хороший замазан?
What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
Вы расстроили диктора. Да.
What's this one got to say?
О, Куки 9.
You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley.
А, что это, господи?
And it's always been my motto.
Куда пропали?
Anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have. And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy
В
ruminations.
смысле, для меня это секунда прошла.
Video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had
Можно
to
посмотреть и
I'd
проверить,
say
смог
it
ли
was
он
perhaps
сломать
less of a
это.
rumination and more of a treatise, or maybe a manifesto. Look, I'll outline it for you.
Достал.
Well, there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. Oh, I can't wait to see what Cookie and Time will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of
Можно
this
найти,
video,
кстати,
or at
этот.
least change some of the wording, perhaps. To be honest, I don't even know if one can change their rating in
Можно.
the first place. I guess I should become better educated on exactly how Steam works. Perhaps that would have been the smart thing to check on before I went about this whole exercise of making the skip button. Although I have to imagine that after seeing this exciting new technology at work, surely whoever it is Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on
Можешь.
to myself about.
Ты и так сам с собой разговариваешь.
But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated. Stanley! Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone. I've looked at it from every angle. I've checked every one of those walls 1,000 times, and there's no door, Stanley. There's no door. There's just you and the button, and if you keep...
Поехали.
Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a
Неделя?
week or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time, just sitting here, not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always
Я хочу еще перемотать.
me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's
До какой степени можно перемотать?
Doesn't that feel
Просто
like
сломает ли эту игру или
you're
нет?
just talking? But it isn't, Stanley.
Что если
It isn't the
дослушивать
same
его
at all.
диалоги и не
It isn't even
проматывать?
close. Because I know
Там
you
сюжет.
can't hear me once you push that button. That's what I'm realizing now, Stanley. I'm realizing that I needed to know that someone was listening.
Давай, месяц. О, что-то.
Hello, it's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time, I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever
Год?
sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the
Я
turning
сейчас же
point of
10
missed
лет перемотаю,
opportunities. I
чел.
felt nothing
Чел,
at
ты.
all but regret for the long
Говно тебе. Все. Концовка. Да понятно, что здесь концовка. Просто можно было еще давно туда выйти. А, нельзя было. Она же круговая. Точно. А еще можно перемотать? Давай. Пищит неприятно. О, можно перемотать. Давай. Не пищи.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough.
Опять пустота. Может, надо было все же его послушать в этот раз?
The end is never the end, 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 is never the end.
Это их слоган, кстати. Блин, ты уже все смотрела, что ли? Я не могу понять. Откуда ты все концовки знаешь? Это неинтересно. Давай, загружайся. Летели. О, это уже серьезно. Полетели дальше. О, свет. Свет. Нефокусируемый свет, да. Нет, там можно сфокусировать небо, увидеть. Дальше поехали. Вообще ничего не будет. О, блин, это красиво. Это просто очень насыщенно. Скрин. На Portal похоже, на самом деле, немного. Там такая же тематика. Нет, куда вы мои растения убили? Верните растения. Сколько лет я перематываю уже? Может, века, столетия? О, звуки стрёмные пошли. Ура, хоррор. Хоррор на Unity с монстром. Игру же на Unity переместили. Раньше она на другом движке была. Ой, кнопки вроде. О. Может, я смогу еще раз нажать? Нет, это конец. К сожалению, это конец. Пустыня. Невидимые стены, чек. Ладно. И куда мне идти? Когда амнезия на минималках. Может, там кнопка перезагрузить? Амнезия. Да, амнезия, когда мы по пустыне там ходили. Все? Это была концовка? Да ну. Так, ведро. Ведро. Где ведро? Где? Где ведро? Ведро? Где? Да где ведро? Нет ведра вашего нигде. Не ведро. Зайти никуда не могу. Не ведро. Не ведро. Не ведро. Не ведро. А, я каждый перезапуск должен один раз нажимать в этом офисе на... Не вижу ведра вашего, блин. Почему ваше ведро вообще? Там еще одна комната с офисами должна быть. Ну вот я трогаю. Все закрыто. Ладно, мы продолжим новый контент. Давай. Надеюсь, это опять прыжки. Я прыгать могу? Нет. Кстати, я в комментариях читал у кого-то. Нет еще. Но я видел скрины. Лифт.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version of Stanley
ведра не будет,
The
понял.
original Stanley parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever the
Ну вот, сейчас она будет.
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why there are so many possibilities? It could go in so many different
Это
directions.
красивый
This is
скрин.
what fans have truly been asking for.
Я бы такое на заставку бы поставил. Как-нибудь бы так красиво подойти бы. Все, принтскрин сделали.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think?
Да, я поиграл бы.
What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
Но они не выпустят ее никогда. Это мем. Это презентация? Это Google презентация.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's...
Сейчас, секунду, я скрин отправлю. Скрин. Вот. Все,
Take a
можно
look at some of
возвращаться.
the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will
Блин,
sort of
постеры
naturally
красивые вообще.
spring up
Тут
around
очень
them.
красиво.
It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
New Futures. Ну давай, покажи мне свои Futures. Вау. Это даже еще лучше, чем тот скрин. Я как тоже вставлю.
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
Сейчас я сфоткаю. Оп. Красота. Так. Ладно, давай проверим. Кнопка, которая говорит имена.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim. I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim, sleeping and waking as Jim, falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim, seizing all
Да кто
the
ваш
world's
этот Джим вообще?
possibilities as Jim, and as Jim, watching your dreams crumble into dust.
Давай.
Whoa, hold on. I wasn't finished setting up the backstory. If you don't properly roleplay as Jim, then you'll never understand the impact of this button. Otherwise, it's just a stupid button that says somebody else's name. Okay, we're doing it again, and this time let me finish first. Now, allow yourself to become Jim. Imagine you're... Alright, fine, whatever. It's just a meaningless button that says Jim. You happy now? Get out of here. I'm done with this button. Why don't you go humiliate me in front of a different feature that I worked very hard on?
Очень долго. Чем пихать столько дверей? Просто стиль, чтобы не...
Maybe I'll only let people named Jim play the Stanley Parable too. They would appreciate what I've created here.
А, все верно. Я думал, она просто... Я удивлен, что по-русски написано. Вот и все. Так, какие еще тут фичи? Украшение для офиса, бесконечная дыра, успокаивающий... А, во, ведро! Ведро!
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on.
Я готов.
Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket go on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
Ладно, теперь у меня есть ведро.
Most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already. Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
Пусти меня. Ничего я не думаю. А, вот сюда. Get well someday.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Happy 12th birthday, step-niece, it is. Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision, we're moving on.
Free new easy achievement. О, джампс. А я все
You know
пропрыгал.
what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the
Да.
jump circle? Oh well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece then.
Верни мне прыжки. Верни мне прыжки. Почему нельзя было прыжки? Не нравилось. Так, бесконечная дыра еще. Вот тут еще что-то написано. Коллекционные предметы, выход, прыжковый круг. Выход. Куда выход? Я еще бесконечную дыру не видел.
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game.
Чего?
In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all
Я
of them,
иду или
and
не
then you
иду?
move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
Ну давай, давай, хорошо, я иду вперед. Я вроде приближаюсь к предмету. Есть ведро? Есть ведро. Что это? Это фигурка? Ладно. Ха, это круто. Это прикольно. Надо все 6 собрать, и что тогда
God,
будет?
it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
Бесплатный ачивмент, но так как мы не играем
Now here's
в
something
Стиме,
special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yeah, okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel. To at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
Да, ты на все так обещаешь. Зачем мне ведро, блин? Ну, концовки ломают. А если я с ведром пройду конец? Ну, по оригинальной. Блин, мне бы дойти бы вообще бы
What
документ.
else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
О, кстати, этот повернулся. Он туда смотрел. Блин, он просто крутится, господи. Так, туда нельзя. Есть выход еще. Achievement. Мерч. Эпилог. Бесконечно... А, во, бесконечная дыра. Пойдем туда. No screen. А если я скриншот? А, блин, ничего не будет. У меня же 12 не работает. Хотел скриншот сделать, типа. Ну да, принтскрин не работает. Ничего не дают. Ну и ладно. Тут надпись просто была. Давай в бесконечную дыру. Давай. Блин, 4 минуты назад было, я только сейчас прочел. Infinity.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
Чё, полетели? Полетели.
You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward.
Я буду падать до концовки, короче.
Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top. Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things.
А что? А что? Там что-то внизу есть, что ли? А?
Okay, Stanley. I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole. Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity.
Оно сузилось.
From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a...
Ой.
Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley. I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're so clever. Look,
Да,
I think the
я
issue
знал
here
это.
is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling. What normal person actually wants to fall infinitely? I figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem. Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite? If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp
Нет,
up to the
я
top
буду
of the hole
сидеть.
and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready.
Нет. Мы будем сидеть. Кто-нибудь знает, там есть концовка, если просто сидеть? Или нет? Не знаю. Ну, можем подождать секунд. Хотя в таких играх там минуту надо ждать или 5. Поехали.
Great. Now, I'm very excited. Oh, for heaven. You see, I was right. The problem is you. The problem is that you like holes too much. Not normal. A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there. Goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of...
О, что-то она вот это раскороче.
Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time? I
Да!
couldn't help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole, but I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above.
Давай.
Had enough? I'm positively thrilled. Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where... Wow. Okay. Yes. I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite. I suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall standards for accountability and marketing. What's going on here? Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length.
Ты меня обманываешь просто.
Let's try something.
Давай.
Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter. Well, there it is.
О.
How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with
Я
holes,
прыгнуть не
but
могу.
this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch. Oh, who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on.
Я не могу.
The, teleport button not working? You sure?
Да.
Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation. It was working.
Как
just
мне
a moment
выбраться,
ago.
ты?
Try it again.
Не могу.
Still nothing? Well, I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this. I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley. You couldn't bear to be away from the hole, and now you'll get more time with it than you could ever have asked for. It's a win for everyone. You get to be with the hole, I get to do literally anything else. Take care, Stanley.
Давай,
I
пока.
hope you and the hole have a wonderful rest of eternity together.
Нечестно. И сколько мне ждать его? Ладно. Посидим. Подождем. О, она вниз пошла. А можно еще медленнее? У меня теперь всегда ведро будет, да, получается, с собой? Или она будет стоять в одном из офисов? Сменить перспективу? Ого! Сейчас под музыку. Не получилось. Сменить восприятие. Ой, какое-то жесткое восприятие. Сменить реальность? О! О! Синятки! Смени себя. Сколько всего восприятий? Не восприятие, а реальность. Ой, их много. Так, музыку поменяем. А, ну все, вокруг пошел. Давай себя сменим. Нормально так. Вот это крутой. Ой, я не то. Сейчас вернем. И музыку поменяем. О! Ой, я вернулся.
Stanley!
О.
Oh, good, you're awake. It seems you had sort of dozed off there, drifting away into dreamland.
Блин, это был сон.
Because this hole is just so darn fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for every second of it. You don't want to miss a single moment. So how about if I just pop in from time to time and wake you up to keep you really truly focused on the hole? From the looks of things, you and I will have many, many years here in this hole, and I'm looking forward to all of them. Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back. Toodle-pip.
Покеда. То есть меня... Я сейчас опять усну, да? Блин. А можно в real life засыпать вот так вот, типа? О, все. Загрузка нового контента. Подъехал контент. Эу. Иу.
Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
Я сейчас опять пойду в бесконечную дыру, ты же понимаешь? О, кстати, с ведром что-то стало. А, нет, надо держать просто. Что думаешь, я не пойду в дыру? Наивный. Наивный. А, вот так вот, значит, да? Это я наивный. Понятно. Поговорили. Так, я еще выход не смотрел. Тут есть выход. Вон туда. И все. Что вы здесь видите? Жука.
All right. Have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
Хочу такую выцевку в реальности. Белый камень и красные. А я еще дальше хочу. А что, нельзя, что ли?
So, Stanley, what do you think? You would like
Нет.
all of the new features?
Нет.
Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience.
Давай. Давай.
Okay. Are you ready?
Да.
Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2.
Давай. Вау! Да, выглядит, конечно.
Well, I mean, there's potential here, right?
Нет,
It's
абсолютно
sort of...
нет.
Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do
А
it
что, реально тут
differently.
работают вот эти?
Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2.
О, можно
All
собрать
right,
челик.
Stanley. This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they wouldn't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, this is the Stanley
Давай.
Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Сейчас будет загрузочный экран, да. Блин, настройки те же оставили. Могли бы и поменять, кстати. Но они хотя бы рабочие. Тут очень круто выглядит.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building.
Не хотел
where he
эти
was
синие шарики.
employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-wrecking, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget.
Нет, но можно по факту сказать, что это реально расширенная очень сильная версия. Но это все равно как DLC идет, а не как целая игра.
No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi.
Hi.
Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Так, где ведро? Теперь.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
О, ведро.
Stanley picked up the bucket.
Ага, теперь тут нельзя проходить. Где монитор с... Блин. Видимо, так как это уже вторая часть, что тут нету монитора с... Либо он не здесь. Нового контента больше нету. Ладно. Короче, пройдем на основную концовку тогда уже и будем заканчивать.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where
Ладно,
he'd find answers.
проходим на основную концовку.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Поехали. О, поменялся надпись. Лодинг, лодинг, лодинг.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket.
А если не взять ведро?
Comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine. Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read,
Еще, кстати, там не
Mind
было.
Control Facility.
Ну ладно. Я даже не знаю, где кабинет 234, но я его видел. Давай, свет. Да будет свет в
The
глазах.
lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both
Я могу
wondered to
упасть.
themselves.
Тут нет стены, я могу упасть. Блин, ладно. Сейчас упаду, но смешно. Или там можно упасть.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being
О,
videotaped,
нет, я реально
monitored
упал.
like guinea pigs. The bucket had never but just as Stanley was about to proceed further into the mind control.
Блин, я еще одну альтернативу. Я хотел основную пройти.
Over the railing and into the dark void below. Thankfully, he fell directly onto the bucket, which safely cushioned his fall. Now, what to do next? Stanley wondered. Stanley and the bucket could find no way out of this enormous pit, and so eventually they decided that the best thing to do would be to simply get comfortable down here. So they set up a little couch and relaxed. It really wasn't so bad down here, a bit cold perhaps.
О,
After some time had gone by, they installed a few shelves as well, and a sort of kitchenette that was useful for when the bucket was craving panini.
видимо, это работает только с ведром.
But it wasn't until the rugs and the standing lamps came in that it really started to feel like a home. In fact, after some time, Stanley realized that it had been ages since he had even thought of the mind control facility at all. He'd never gotten to fully explore what was up there, never been able to unearth the many mysteries of the mind control facility. This lack of closure began to eat at him. Soon he was dwelling on his regrets, and the state of their home slowly decayed as Stanley became withdrawn and neglected the cleaning. It unsettled the bucket deeply. Stanley
Нет,
wasn't used
ведро
to
уйдет от меня.
the bucket tried to reach out to him again and again, but to no avail. All Stanley could think about, all he could talk about, was going back,
Мы можем,
doing it
мы
over
можем.
again,
Я верю.
staying on the path. It was a mistake to leave the path. It was a mistake. It was a mistake. I need to do what the narrator says. I need to see the true ending.
Да,
This made no sense at all.
я случайно упал.
It was simply trying to live its life down here as comfortably as possible.
Какая спокойная жизнь, еды нету, воды нету.
This isn't an ending. This is just a hole in the ground. The bucket sighed. True, it wasn't.
Кто-нибудь падал без ведра, типа в начале игры?
And maybe, possibly, if we accept the reality of things, maybe this will become an ending eventually. It's what the bucket was counting on. The two of them waited for a very long time. Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest
Так,
and entered the door.
пробегаем все же. Теперь идем на основную концовку, на настоящую. Никуда не падаем.
Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Знаете, эта дверь должна быть открыта. А, она открыта. Как тебя забрать? А,
One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a
я
job
хочу
well
получить
done.
награду за
You
сбор.
can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
Ладно, буду ценить. Сколько еще их, блин? Я имею в виду, где они могут быть?
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human
Oi.
life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire, if not for the soothing presence of the... But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer
Вот
luck.
это удача,
Was
да.
it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Поехали уже. Там кто-то был как будто. О, без его разговоров дурацких в этот раз.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Все, в этот раз никуда не падаем.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves. The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that
3,
everything would
4,
be fine.
пират. 2. Там моя комната. Просто пират. Пират. А в оригинале есть надпись «Пират»?
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control, never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point,
Еще можно в
he
самой
could
последней
trust
концовке
except for the bucket.
типа не выключить, а включить.
But here was the proof.
И тут можно пароль какой-то набрать.
Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content.
Не вижу.
Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life, for he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
Давай. О. Будет ли другая концовка?
Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind-controlled machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they
Пойти назад.
but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on,
Тут
to
ничего
trust,
нет.
to support. What? Wait. What was happening? Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in
Я хотел обычную концовку выйти.
until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave. Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming
Нет, куда?
needed the soothing warmth of the bucket.
Нет.
Let's not depart with the bucket. No. Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
Видимо, с самого начала все. Да. Ну, ладно, в общем, такая была последняя концовка.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Да, все. Дальше уже, собственно, ведро берем. Блин, опять нет этого компьютера. О, косынка, реально? Ладно. Ну, вот так вот, в общем. Всем спасибо за этот прекрасный просмотр. Это была отличная игра, которую еще можно провести, наверное, часа 2 точно.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Особенно с ведром. Вот, поэтому, да. Ну все, спасибо всем. Сиквел на паузе. Ладно. А если я перезапущу игру, я вернусь в сиквел.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered
А,
the
можно
door
теперь
again.
упасть. О, господи, сколько еще концовок. Ладно, на этом буду заканчивать. Всем спасибо и всем пока-пока.